Hi guys, this is Arm. The anime recap today is The Fruit of Evolution. This is a story about the exchange of status between a weak boy and people who look down on him. The male protagonist, Seiichi, is humiliated in various ways by his classmates every day until the gods transport the entire school's students to another world. Seiichi's luck takes a turn for the better, and he becomes the strongest man in the world. More and more beautiful girls are attracted to Seiichi and are looking forward to becoming his wives. A pink female gorilla and a very voracious donkey are also included. To be able to marry Seiichi, they turn into sexy teenage girls who pester him all day. The story begins with Seiichi's high school life. He is an ugly fat boy with body odor, so he is often abused by his classmates. On this day, his life changes dramatically. The voice of the god is heard on the school radio, ordering everyone to form their teams and they will be sent to another world. He gives his students special skills to identify others and store objects. The students travel to another world in groups, and only Seiichi is left behind. The god takes pity on the lonely Seiichi and grants him a unique skill that allows him to master all the knowledge of another world. Seiichi is then transported into a forest, where he searches for a long time and cannot find the exit. He is too starved to move. At this point, Seiichi sees a fruit on the ground. He can only identify it as an evolution fruit through his skills. Seiichi doesn't bother to know whether the fruit of evolution is poisonous and quickly eats it. Fortunately, nothing wrong happens. Seiichi notices that there are several gorillas up to level 120 nearby guarding 9 evolution fruits and a bunch of potions. Seiichi knows that he can't show up at his will because he is only level 1. He steals these things quietly when the gorillas are distracted. Unfortunately, a gorilla soon spots Seiichi and desperately chases after him. Seiichi can't beat the gorilla at all. Just when he thinks he is going to die, the gorilla stinks to death from his smell. After the gorilla dies, it drops a bunch of weapons and a book about the characteristics of gorillas. Seiichi also gains a new ability to teleport nearby. After exploring the forest for a few days and eating all the fruits, Seiichi finally senses an anomaly. His body suddenly becomes thinner and he also receives a super high stab bonus. Suddenly, the system prompts Seiichi that he has evolved, which will take place 10 times in total, all thanks to the fruits of evolution. Since then, Seiichi has fought monsters in the forest with his super strength and has completed 9 evolutions one after another. He has been able to easily defeat monsters with a level of more than 300, but his current level is still only 1. At this time, the leader of the gorilla, a pink gorilla who calls herself Saria, comes to Seiichi for revenge. Saria is so vigorous that she can knock Seiichi down with a single punch. This is the most powerful opponent Seiichi has encountered since he evolved. In a desperate situation, he remembers that he has killed gorillas with the smell of his body, and intends to attack Saria in the same way. Interestingly, Saria is not knocked out but becomes obsessed with the smell of Seiichi. She carries Seiichi up and says that she wants to marry him. In this way, Seiichi is forcibly taken into Saria's cave to live with her, and he can only settle down and wait for the good timing to escape. Saria tells him that she has also eaten 10 fruits of evolution. The fruits that Seiichi steals are prepared for her future husband, who she believes is her destined husband. Saria looks rough, but is actually a gentle gorilla. She carefully prepares clean clothes and hearty food for Seiichi, and even rescues Seiichi when he is in danger. Seiichi's impression of Saria gradually changes, but his desire to escape doesn't. He slips away without Saria's attention and escapes into a labyrinth where lives a skeleton lord of up to level 1500 under Saria's pursuit. The skeleton lord quickly launches an attack on Seiichi, and at the most dangerous moment, Saria appears to help Seiichi block the attack with her body. Saria's breath gradually fades, and Seiichi knows that she is dying. Only at this moment does he realize that he already liked her. In order to avenge Saria, he furiously declares war on the Skeleton Lord. The Skeleton Lord is surprised that humans fall in love with gorillas. While he is stunned, Seiichi transports himself to his side and stabs him to death with a dagger. After that, Seiichi picks up Saria and kisses her affectionately. At this time, a light appears on Saria, and Saria completes her last evolution to become a sexy, beautiful girl, and her injuries are healed. Seiichi also completes the final evolution. He learns many new skills and magic. He has also become quite handsome. At this moment, Seiichi and Saria look at each other affectionately and agree to be together forever. Suddenly, the maze manager who calls himself Mr. Sheep appears in front of them. Mr. Sheep gives them 2 costumes and a bag of evolution fruits as a reward for defeating the Skeleton Lord, then transports them outside the maze. But instead of returning to the forest, they go to a strange place. Now, Seiichi's strength is so strong that the power is even terrifying. The ordinary monsters cannot withstand his attacks at all. In order to avoid the revealing of strength, Seiichi looks into Mr. Sheep's reward trying to get something that hides his strength, and he actually finds a cloak. Seiichi hasn't seen any humans for a long time, and he decides to take Saria first to find a human gathering place. They arrive at the nearest town, where the guards guarding the gates tell them that those with identification can stay here for a long time, and that the quickest way to obtain their identifications is to register as adventurers. So Seiichi and Saria arrive at the Adventurers Guild, where the adventurers have more and more eccentric personalities, and Seiichi suddenly regrets his decision. Registering as an adventurer requires taking an exam, and the examiner named Artoria is known in guilds for being harsh and cold. Few people know that she is reluctant to approach others because those who come into contact with her are always in danger. After giving Seiichi and Saria a series of tasks as exam questions, she sets off with Seiichi and others as a proctor. One of them is the demolition of the ruins. Seiichi tries to destroy the ruins with magic, only to be buried alive by a large number of fallen stones. Artoria, worried about Seiichi's safety, immediately digs for stones, believing that her misfortune has implicated Seiichi. Fortunately, Seiichi is very strong and unharmed. Artoria worriedly accuses Seiichi of not being careful enough. Seiichi looks at the tears in Artoria's eyes and realizes that she is actually a mild person. Next, Artoria takes Seiichi and Saria out to the wilderness to complete a mission. When Seiichi is acting alone, he encounters several demons. There is a perennial war between humans and demons, and when the demons see Seiichi, they see him as their enemy. A giant demon waves a wooden stick and smashes it at Seiichi, but he doesn't expect Seiichi crushes the wooden stick with great strength, frightening the demons to flee quickly. They come to the human territory to lay traps and transport human adventurers in the wild to the palace of the Black Dragon God, weakening the combat effectiveness of humans. Their purpose is achieved before they meet Seiichi. Soon Artoria falls into a trap. Seiichi and Saria rush to catch Artoria, and the three of them are transported together into a complex maze. This labyrinth is located near the palace of the Black Dragon God. To avoid the team from getting scattered, Artoria gives Seiichi a stone to identify his teammates. At this time, Artoria accidentally triggers the mechanism of the maze, and a wall rises from the ground to separate her from her companions. They can only explore the maze, looking for other ways to meet. Moments later, Seiichi and Saria accidentally break into a room and encounter an aggressive treasure box. Seiichi defeats the box with magic, from which he obtains a strange ring that can turn the user's misfortune into good luck. Before Seiichi can figure out how to use the item, he notices that the stone glows, indicating that Artoria is on the other side of the wall. Seiichi finds the wall fragile and decides to force his way through. Meanwhile, Artoria searches for them in a maze and inadvertently enters Black Dragon God's room, where she will be treated as food. She exerts all her strength in the fight, but is constantly defeated by Black Dragon God. Black Dragon God spews out a ball of flame intending to burn Artoria, but thankfully Seiichi shatters the wall in time to block the flames with his body. He heals Artoria with a healing potion, then rushes forward to fight Black Dragon God. Black Dragon God has a level of up to 5,000. It not only can use magic, but also has a lot of power, and it slaps Seiichi against the wall with a flick of its tail. Seeing that it is about to unleash a huge fireball, Seiichi hurriedly summons a waterfall with magic to defuse the attack. He uses his skills to dodge Black Dragon God's attacks, then waits for the opportunity to get close to Black Dragon God and defeat it. After the fight, Seiichi greatly increases his level and learns the magic used to transport. He hurriedly uses magic and leaves with his companions. Artoria feels bad, believing that the crisis is caused by her special constitution. Artoria tells Seiichi that she is cursed from her birth and that anyone who approaches her will be in danger. Seiichi and Saria agree that they have already regarded Artoria as an important partner and don't mind her special physique. Artoria is moved to tears, and she flees from them so that others will not see her crying. Seiichi follows her worriedly. Finally, Artoria is found in the ruins that Seiichi had destroyed. He holds Artoria tightly to comfort her, saying that he will always be with her. This makes Artoria shy. Suddenly, Seiichi remembers that the ring he has gotten will help Artoria get out of bad luck. He puts the ring on her ring finger, promising to make her a happy person. Artoria freezes and runs away shyly. Seiichi then realizes that what he had done seemed like a marriage proposal. Since then, Artoria's doom is lifted. However, she begins to avoid Seiichi and apparently mistakes what Seiichi said earlier as a marriage proposal. Seiichi decides to talk to Artoria. While he's thinking about how to talk to Artoria, Artoria shows up. Seiichi intends to clarify the misunderstanding, but Artoria silences him with a kiss. She bravely states that she has decided to pursue Seiichi boldly, whether he likes her now or not. In fact, Seiichi has the same crush on Artoria, but he doesn't want to betray Saria. Just as Seiichi is about to reject Artoria, Saria appears. Saria feels that powerful men are naturally attracted to females, and she has never wanted to monopolize Seiichi. She doesn't get angry even though she hears what Artoria says, but tries to match them. Seiichi can no longer hold himself, but kisses Artoria affectionately. Since then, Artoria, like Saria, has become Seiichi's girlfriend. Now Seiichi and Saria have passed the exam and are officially adventurers. The president of the Adventurers Guild suggests Seiichi buy a horse. That could be used both as a means to carry things and as a means of transportation. Seiichi takes his reasonable words and goes to a nearby horse farm to pick a mount. In addition to the various peculiar horses, there is also a donkey named Lulune. She is stronger than all the horses. The only drawback is that she is extremely grumpy and everyone who approaches her will be kicked away. Seiichi understands Lulune's words through a special skill given to her by the gods and learns that she only obeys the strong. Seiichi is so competitive that he holds Lulune's 2 hooves to stop her from attacking. Lulune has never seen a human being with greater strength than her and has voluntarily surrendered to him. After Seiichi successfully takes Lulune with him, he hears the news that horse races are recently being held in the country and the prize for 5th place is Lulune's favorite food. At Lulune's begging, Seiichi takes her to the tournament and makes Saria and Artoria cheerleaders. After the race begins, the other runners are galloping on horseback, except Lulune, who can't run at all because she forgets to have breakfast. Seiichi hurriedly rummages through his food and feeds the bag of evolution fruits from Mr. Sheep to Lulune. The effect of the evolution fruit is quite good, and Lulune suddenly gains extraordinary strength, rushes to the front of the team, and wins 1st place. The reward for the winner is not good food, but a day out with Louise, the female warrior loved by men in the whole country. Lulune, who doesn't get the food, cries as soon as she gets home, hugging Seiichi. At that moment, her body begins to glow. By the time the light fades, she has evolved into a beautiful girl. Saria and Artoria return just in time to bump into Lulune holding Seiichi, and Artoria beats Seiichi in anger. Even though Seiichi explains that the sexy girl is Lulune, she won't believe it. It isn't until Saria turns into a gorilla to defend Seiichi that Artoria finally believes in the magical effects of the fruit of evolution. Suddenly, several soldiers rush over and capture Seiichi. It is only after asking that they take him to the palace to meet Louise. Louise is a fighting maniac and one of the strongest warriors under the king. After learning about Seiichi's strength, she wants to fight him. Louise is practicing her sword when she sees Seiichi, and she takes down dozens of warriors with just one move. Louise throws Seiichi a wooden sword and offers to compete with him. Before Seiichi answers, she starts to attack. Her swordsmanship is quite exquisite, but she is completely no match for Seiichi, who has undergone 10 evolutions. For the first time, Louise tastes the taste of failure. She kneels respectfully to Seiichi and asks Seiichi to be her master. Seiichi can't stand Louise's sincere pleads and can only agree. At this time, a maid rushes to report to Louise that King Rans has been attacked by an assassin. When Louise receives the news, she hurries with her subordinates to arrest the assassin. Seiichi rarely comes to the palace and doesn't want to miss such an interesting event. He uses a new skill he has acquired in the fight just now to detect the situation in the vicinity. He finds out through his skills that the assassin is a cat girl named Oliga. Seiichi takes the initiative and knocks Oliga unconscious and hands her over to Louise. Louise worriedly tells Seiichi that Oliga's weapon has a curse attached to it. Rans will sleep forever because he is attacked by Oliga. Capturing the assassin will not solve the problem, and no one in the palace can help Rans lift the curse. That's when Seiichi has an idea. Once he was visiting the library, he discovered that he had been given a special skill by God that he could learn everything by reading a magic book. The ability to create magic is also included. Seiichi tries to create magic to lift Rand's curse, and Louise takes him to Rand's bedroom. He focuses on creating new magic for Rand's. After a while, Rand opens his eyes. He learns that he was saved by Seiichi, so he rewards Seiichi for going in and out of the palace at will in the future, and takes him to the bathhouse for a bath. Rand tells Seiichi that his dream is to create a peaceful world where demons and humans no longer kill each other. Some time ago, the demon lord who controlled the demon race was sealed by humans, and now the leader of the demon race is the daughter of the demon lord. In order to achieve his goal, Rand makes a peace agreement with the daughter of the demon lord. Unfortunately, the demon lord's old subordinates oppose this action, and the king of another human kingdom, the Kaiser Empire, doesn't want to live in peace with the demons, making it difficult for Rand to realize his dream. Seiichi admires Rand's dream and decides to help Rand keep the peace. Seiichi's companions are not aware of this, and they are asking around for clues about him. Finally, they find the palace under various intelligence and learn the truth of the matter. After leaving the bathhouse, Seiichi meets his companions and Louise. Louise is preparing to interrogate Oliga. Seiichi curiously follows her to the cell. Louise sees Oliga wearing a strange collar around her neck, pointing out that it is a magic ring used to force the wearer to perform a mission. That is to say, Oliga's assassination is completely manipulated. At present, no one knows how to remove the control of the magic ring. This kind of problem is a piece of cake for Seiichi, who can create magic. He He easily creates a new magic that destroys the magic ring. When Olga regains her freedom, she cries out emotionally. She confesses that it is the king of the Kaiser Empire who has instructed her to assassinate, and that she and her people are controlled by the magic ring and tortured. Seiichi sympathizes with Olga and promises to protect her as his sister in the future. Louise has no objection to Seiichi's act of protecting Olga. She knows that the kind Rans will not make it hard for a slave controlled by the magic ring. Meanwhile, Demon Lord's former subordinates are planning to launch a fierce attack on Ran's country. An unprecedented crisis is coming. Soon after, Louise receives news that the country has been invaded by a large number of monsters. She hurriedly says goodbye to Seiichi and goes to the front to fight. The number of monsters is beyond Louise's imagination. There is fierce fighting between humans and monsters. It will take Louise a long time to end the war. After Louise leaves, Barnabas, the first magician of mankind, comes to the palace. He has come to report a matter to Rans. Barnabas runs a famous magic academy, and the Kaiser Empire recently sends a large number of heroes from another world to his academy. These heroes cause trouble everywhere, which upsets him a lot. Seiichi thinks of not getting any news from his classmates who have traveled to another world with him until now, and assumes that the heroes Barnabas talks about are his classmates. Seiichi's guess is correct. The students have been under Kaiser Empire's control ever since they traveled to another world. At this moment, an urgent report comes from a soldier, and a large number of monsters attack the capital where the palace is located. Now that the soldiers of the country have been brought to the front by Louise, Rans can only order the adventurers and Barnabas to gather in the country to defend the capital. Seiichi also takes his companions to the battlefield. Fortunately, the adventurers are strong enough to withstand the monsters' attacks. Saria also quickly joins the battlefield at this time, turning her arms back into their original form and hitting the enemy with great force. The other girls also kill enemies in their own combat styles. The number of monsters is overwhelming, and Barnabas simply casts a large magic to summon a hurricane. Barnabas is the first magician of mankind, and his hurricane blows all the monsters away without harming allies. Everyone is relieved. Unexpectedly, a group of monsters with a larger number and higher level appear. Now it is Seiichi's turn to strike, and he uses all his strength to create super powerful magic. Destructive beams of light fall from the sky, killing the monsters with precision. The attacking plan of demons is thus easily disintegrated by Seiichi. Everyone is stunned, especially Barnabas, who has never thought of seeing such powerful magic. Barnabas implores Seiichi to go to the Academy of Magic as a teacher and allows Seiichi to take his companions with him. Seeing that the girls are all showing interest in the Academy of Magic, Seiichi agrees to Barnabas' invitation. Before heading to the Academy of Magic, Louise repels the monsters on the border and returns to the capital. She would love to set off with Seiichi, but she has to stay and protect the capital. After saying goodbye to Louise, Seiichi takes other girls on a new journey. This is the end of the story. In this anime, Seiichi is often humiliated by his classmates before traveling to another world. These students probably have never expected that after traveling into another world, the weak Seiichi would grow into the top of the human race in battle after battle, while they have been living a comfortable life in the human world, without even actual combat experience. Another thing they don't know is that the king of the Kaiser Empire secretly puts a magic ring on them. These students consider themselves to be the best men who save the world, but in fact, they can only follow the orders of the Kaiser Empire in the future. The anime is now set for a second season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how funny these arrogant students will be when they know that Seiichi is their teacher. By the way, the author is such an airhead to transform a gorilla and a donkey into pretty girls. After watching the anime, the first thing I want to do is turning my cat into a beautiful girl. It's a pity that she looks at me so lazily and leaves. When will I ever have a cat that turns into a beautiful girl? If you had superpowers, what animal do you think would be most attractive to turn into a beautiful girl? Welcome to chat in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There are many wonderful anime recaps on my channel. Check them out to see if you like them. Bye!